The Al Travis Show, the last place you can go and hear all sides. Respectful, thoughtful, and grateful.
Grateful having me as the voice, Jay Caldwell, on the program. Jay, how are you doing?
I'm good, Al. How about you?
I'm doing okay. I'm probably about 4 hours earlier in my recovery than I would be on a regular weekend, so that's probably a good news thing. Do you?
Because the game was in the morning.
Yes, sir. And there's a general, after watching a game like we saw yesterday, there's a certain amount of time it takes me to get over that. I would wonder, I bet you do the same thing. We do because we're in this line of work. I don't know how other people get over it at all. I get on the air and I get like 3 hours today to get over these feelings, right? To verbalize it, to get it out, get my feelings on the table, and then move on. If you don't have that, what do? What do normal people do, Jay?
Internalize it and then eventually just erupt. I don't know.
Just take it out on the family dog or something. Yeah. That's probably true. That's sad.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
Not. Let's hope that doesn't end up being the case. But yeah, it can be difficult, but you also have to look at it. You have to separate a little bit. There was a point where I take these things a lot more personally when I was younger. And now I'm like, well, I didn't make any decisions. I didn't make any. I threw new interceptions or missed a block or any of those kind of things. So, I can't take it personally. And, it's disappointing when they lose. But you also look at, you got a backup quarterback who he was available to anyone to sign. Yeah. So, I mean, how good is he really? So I think that's something you should keep in mind. And then they were missing, two starting three offensive linemen. So that's difficult to overcome.
No, I get the loss for all those things you said. This Wentz thing, 350 yards, 2 TDs. Now, he had 2 interceptions. I get that, but they were blocked, deflected. Okay. But that's pretty darn good work for, like you say, a second stringer, let alone a second stringer no one else wanted, right? He was not the problem here. You can have the greatest, you took it Addison and JJ and Hawkinson and Thielen is your fourth guy, for heaven's sakes. And then there's Naylor. You have all those weapons. You have 2 running backs that are pretty darn good. One on the bench, but I get it. You have all that going for you. If you don't have more than 2 seconds to set it up, you get nothing. It's an offensive line problem. We were sold a bill of goods, and we don't have it.
Yeah, well, and unfortunately, I see Ryan Kelly, who is the center, who they brought in, and he had a long injury history before they even brought him in from Indianapolis.
Yeah, of getting concussions.
And getting concussions, right. So now that's rearing its ugly head again. Yep. So he's missing time. Brian O'Neill, who has been pretty healthy, he ends up getting hurt yesterday. So that's a knee, and it looks like that could be a MCL sprain. So that could be a few weeks. You already got Donovan Jackson, who was their first pick, that he has got, a wrist injury. So he's out at least one more game. So, yeah, it's not looking good. I mean, Darisaw, who has missed the first couple of games, he's kind of the picture of health now. On the offensive line, and that hadn't been the case. So yeah, they've got some problems. And there's, I don't know if there's any way that you can trade for someone. There's not going to probably be a guy who is just available out there on the street that they could sign that would be helpful. So they might just have to go with what they got.
Well, what would you do? Even if there's some guy in a practice squad on some team, let's say Cincinnati's practice squad, you're going to grab him up. You offer him anything okay, it's Monday. You find the guy, you send him a letter. Hey, can you be to Dublin by Thursday? So you have 2 days to practice with us? You're going to put that into a game? We're so far away from everybody who could possibly come. You're out. I don't even know statistically how you'd ever get anybody there and have any time to look at the playbook.
Yeah, that'd be difficult to be able to turn that around. But, I mean, they might just need to get another body. I mean, maybe not to start the game, but just to be available in case someone else gets hurt.
Yeah, well, it's tough. And then they were all talking about what would have happened if Aaron Rodgers was our quarterback. We could have got him. I think that's just a false argument. Yes, he had a decent day. He wasn't great, but he had a decent day. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers will give you decent days. But if we paid Aaron Rodgers to come here, we wouldn't have the money for anything else. You'd never get a front line. We're getting JJ for next to nothing. Let's put a line in front. Let's get something started.
Yeah, well, I mean, based on what we saw for the majority of the game yesterday with Carson Wentz, I mean, you probably were thinking the same thing I was, that, this is going to be an easy transition back to JJ then. Yeah. Healthy enough to play, and then he played better in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, it does look like after this Browns game on Sunday, which Wentz will probably start, that then you'd be looking at JJ most likely coming back and playing the following week. Although that's a tough stretch of games.
We're off the following week, so that does give him 2 more weeks to get quote-unquote healthy, but it is the 4 hardest games coming up, and I don't know if you do that kid, if you don't have a front line. I don't know what you're gaining. A couple other stories I want to talk about real quick with you. The links are out. Here's just a Minnesota thing, right? This team is good enough and should walk through the finals, in my opinion. And they lay an egg in the last 2 games. The second to last game, the coach gets thrown out, and she's out for the game. We lose, we're done. This is so Minnesota. This is something we could have hung our hat on. These gals are a good basketball team.
Well, and the Lynx have won a bunch of championships.
Yep.
And it was reffing that contributed to them not winning it last year against New York. And I remember seeing that. And that was a bad call that allowed New York to get free throws when they shouldn't have had them. In this particular foul that was in question. Now, if you take a look at they were down 4 at the time where this injury, no call, didn't happen. And there was just seconds remaining. So that steal and bucket on the other end probably clinched the win for Phoenix. But, I mean, my gosh, they probably still would have lost the game.
Yes, and when I look at that play, and again, you can't exactly match a men's game. I don't think in the men's game they would have called that a foul. I think that was a no call. I really do. And I'm trying to give ourselves all I don't think I call a foul on that play.
Because when you look at it, it looked like the deflection, the steal looked clean.
Yep.
And then there was contact, so you could call a block on the defender because there was a contact there. So that could have been called. Yeah, it's a tough one. And and did you see that NBA officials, they supported the WNBA officials saying that was the right thing to no call that. But other coaches took the side of Cheryl Reeves saying that, that should have been called. So I don't know.
It's tough. One last thing for you quick. Twins lose almost 100 games, 92 games. They gutted this team. And now there's talk that possibly Baldelli should keep an eye on his job. This guy didn't become a bad coach. You just handed him nothing for your meatball sandwich. You gave him nothing. And I will be I wasn't necessarily a big Baldelli guy. I think he's a good coach. I think he knows his stuff. He didn't get stupid because the team changed. If the Pollets get rid of Baldy, what do you think they're saying? We're literally going to start from nothing?
Yeah, I think that the bigger question would be, Derek Falvey is the guy in charge of baseball operations. I mean, that would be it. But, I mean, do you put a lot on him, or is it just the Pollats and you can't fire the owner?
No, you can't. But somehow, if you're going to hang on to this team, somebody's got to be in charge to at least understand something about baseball. This team was not rock star solid, had a lot of injuries when we decided we were done and gutted it. I never saw us being a 92 well-lost season, but we did. If you're going to blame the coach on that, I don't know what coach would want to come here.
Yeah, well, one thing that the organization isn't doing, and this is maybe more of a Derek Falvey thing, is that they are not developing young players to be big contributors at the major league level. It just hasn't happened. So that's a frustrating spot, and that would probably fall more on Falvey than it would on Rocco.
Absolutely. Jay, I got to go. I'm out of time. I appreciate you, my friend. Love having you on.
You got it. Thanks, Al.
He's the voice, Jay Caldwell, on the Al Travis Show.